Hello everyone, and I am there with a very, very special student of ours today, Dr. Anurag, who has an amazing journey from 5887 to 1277. And I think he is an example for all those students who are thinking of actually, surrendering. Let me introduce Dr. Anurag. Hi, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
So he was a student who was connected with us from the very beginning, and especially in the COVID times when it was a stressful time. Anurag, will you tell us about your story from the beginning when you joined us?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I'm like from BCSG, Srinagar, Uttarakhand. So there, usually no classes used to happen, like satellite classes. So DBMCI on that same year launched the satellite classes, and like they gave me 100% scholarship based on my first year results. So from there, I started preparing notes by satellite classes, and for me, satellite classes are like they were like very good because in 2-3 days, whole subject used to be completed. And then in third year also I got scholarship based on my second year results. Then in final year, due to COVID, I took DBMCI e-Gurukul app. I used to revise from there and like add new stuff. And then in internship again, DBMCI gave me scholarship because of my final year results.
Wow. So you are our all-time scholarship student, like nothing succeeds like success, right, Anurag? And he was one fellow, he used to text me every single time. I think you texted me when you got the distinction in ophthalmology.
Yes,
And that was such a, smoother and soother during the COVID times when you get so much good comments from your students that they are getting good marks, right? So when there was COVID times, Anurag, suddenly it came and you had shifted to the online. How did these online classes help you to manage that time?
ma'am. In initially it was like difficult because in satellite classes, like it is live classes, so like you make notes then and there, and then on the very next day you can revise them. But once like the it shifted to online, you used to get relaxed. Like one video gets completed in 2 days, 3 days. But
Hmm.
slowly, like I took the it took means I took the speed. Then all notes I revised them once, along with the like major textbooks, standard textbooks. And
Mm-hmm.
then in internship, it was easy for me to revise my notes, handwritten notes actually.
So, as Anurag, as you were telling me, that DBMCI was the sole source of main notes preparation for you. You took the vibe also. So, what do you found so special in the classes that helped you in making the fundamentals so strong?
Ma'am, actually, it was mainly the live interaction. Like you can ask then and there the easiest, silliest of doubts you can ask, and teachers used to solve them then and there. So, like when I go back to my room, then it was like easy to revise again, just flipping through the pages and nothing more.
Means concepts got cleared in the
Yeah, yeah.
classes itself,
Yes,
and
yes,
it
yes.
was easy to revise the notes when you
Yes.
come back.
Yeah.
So, which classes you felt were most magical?
Ma'am, most magical, almost like 19 subjects, all were good equally. I would not like do this. But main which touched my heart was one was anatomy, Dr. Ashwini sir.
Yes.
And one reason was like my seniors told me that he used to teach in our college also back then. So
Okay.
like, and when I saw his anatomy classes, it was like awesome. And then Dr. Praveen sir's pathology, yours ophthalmology, no doubt. And then Dr. Thamim sir and Mukesh sir's medicine. Like I'm a huge fan of Thamim sir. And then surgery, Dr. Jai sir, and Dr. Rajat sir's radiology is also very conceptual.
Yes.
And so these were the like must do.
Okay. And how did you found the support system that the team gave to you during the COVID, like the technical support as well as the manual support?
Ma'am, one thing I would appreciate of DBMCI is like you can message them on any platform, and within the same day, like they used to reply. And as fast as possible, they like solved all the queries regarding the like packs or note textbooks, everything.
Yeah. So you were able to handle everything, and there
Yes.
was a smoother conversion between the two types of classes. Then you attended the Vibe. So, what would you say? How did it help your preparation, Vibe?
Vibe mem is actually like all the images in just one book. And it's like very easy to revise all the images, like all histology, pathology images, all the instruments of different specialties. So, and moreover, attending like 2, 3, actually, I used to watch video at 2x. So, within 1 or 2 hours, each and every subject used to get be revised very easily with images. So, it's like cherry on cake.
And how would you comment, especially when like NEET PG 2024 was a paper of images, like everybody said. So, do you think that if we do the Vibe, all the images are covered and we can rely completely over it for images?
Yes, ma'am. Not only images, like with images, the concepts which teachers told, like one-liners and
Hmm.
everything. Direct question, I won't lie, but some questions which I won't be able to do with my notes, I have done it with vibe topics.
Okay. So Vibe acts as a mini revision kind of
Yes.
a thing every time. And what about the questions? Like when you started doing the question, what did you find the topics that were covered were already discussed in the class and it was a familiar paper? What was your first feeling?
Ma'am, first of all, though, I was so terrified looking at the exam because last year paper was damn easy, and this time I thought that they have really asked in depth. But when I started like remembering the stuff and correlating the stuff with like clinical aspects, and
Mhm.
when I means I gave every GT. So in GT, like it's like
This needs to be emphasized. You
yes,
gave every
yes.
GT, guys. See, like we have so many students who are fear of GTs. Please listen to him.
I learned from my past mistakes because dropping at 5K rank was like very difficult for me and starting again. So I mainly thought of my loopholes like what I need to cover. Even one GT was remaining and I took that on the last day. Means I wouldn't advise that to do GT on last day, but I thought maybe to add some no more knowledge. I didn't give it to test my knowledge, but just to add on knowledge. So GT is a must.
And how were the questions in GT? Like when you used to do the GTs and when you did the main paper, were you able to correlate the questions which were there?
Yes, ma'am, because GTs are now definitely clinical questions. It's not like one liner you gave the answer. It's
Hmm.
like clinical, you have to correlate. Definitely, you need to know the one liner, but depth of the concept you should know. Unless you know the concept, you won't be able to attempt that question. You have to rule out each and every option, and for that, you need to practice as many tests as possible.
Acha, Anurag, I think you are the right person to answer. When you give the GTs, you must have felt low sometimes. How did you manage to pass that stress of getting a low score in the grand test?
Ma'am, yeah, I like one GT I used to score around 1,000, and next GT it like goes 5,000 also sometimes rank. And
Mhm.
for that, my major support was my family and my some like I'm not saying I'm like so many friends. I don't have so many friends, but 2, 3 friends I have. Like
But I
I
think that is a good thing, Anurag. When you have
yes,
less
ma'am.
friends, you have good friends who are loyal and sincere to
Only
you.
positive people around me.
Yes. So I think when we have many friends, then you have mixture of every kind of person. So that's a positive thing that you have less friends.
Yes.
Okay. So when you were giving the grand test, and that is a very fortunate of you, family was helpful. What is one advice that you would like to give your colleagues? Like when should you start the GTs? What is the ideal time of and spacing of the GTs?
Ma'am, GTs once like you finish 8 or 9 subjects are enough. Then at least one baseline GT has to be given to know like where you stand because uh, it gives you a pseudo confidence when you complete subjects. But when you attempt questions, you get to know that can you apply those concepts in that particular question. So once you finish like 8, 9 subjects, you can attempt. Maybe 100 would be correct or 110 would be correct, but that would be a baseline score. And then like I used to give every Sunday to like simulate the same exam from 9 a.m. So then every week or every 2 weeks you can give, but every GT is a must.
Every GT is a must. And what is the ideal time? Like 8, 9 subjects, you said that at least when we have done with the 8, 9 subjects, we don't have to wait for all the
No,
19
no.
subjects to start
Then
with the.
it never comes. It never comes that I will finish
Yes.
20 subjects and then I will start.
All right. So, how many revisions did you do, Anurag? Like, what do you feel are the minimum number of revisions?
Ma'am, I to started my journey with revision only because I had taken drop with the 5K rank. So I had to, means my thinking process was exam was 3 months away from that counseling. So I thought that 3 months are enough for two revisions. I need to appear again. But then it again got postponed. So I did 1, 2 revisions. Again postponed, I did 1, 2 revisions. So revisions, so this time there were many, and anyone can do like 4, 5 revisions easily.
So, Anurag, as the paper this time was moderate to difficult, we can say, and it was a clinical scenario-based question. What do you think that what will you choose, conceptual learning or the short courses are better for this kind of paper?
Short-term courses will be only beneficial if you have basic concepts. If means concepts are like building blocks. If you don't have those concepts, you can't like answer just because of those one-liners. For this one-liners also, we need to know the depth of the concept, definitely. Then only you can apply and moreover rule out other three options.
So
So
that
definitely.
clinical concepts and notes making build are a must. Only then you can revise the things.
Yes, ma'am.
So, as your sole preparation notes was from Bhatia, what will you say about the notes of DBMCI?
Ma'am, notes were awesome. I would tell you in my even prof exams one day before, I used to just read those notes, and in my answer sheet, I used to like copy exact from those notes, those flowchart diagrams, and my teachers used to say in which book it is. So I don't had answer because I used to like from page to page. Like I know your like uveitis chapter, you started with that blood supply and all. So I got the question like anterior uveitis. I started with the blood supply same, and then anterior uveitis, all those same diagrams of yours. So that fetched me marks in prof also.
Right. So that means in order to cover your internal examinations, also you don't have to make any of the separate notes. These notes will
Yeah,
suffice
more than enough.
for the ward leavings, for vivas.
Yeah, same, ma'am. Because instruments, you taught instruments also. And
Yes.
even one question this time in Optha, that worth 4 dot test. Uh,
Yes.
in classes only we used to teach these in like revision classes, and nobody teaches these topics and all. So I answered. I was like very happy seeing that question.
Certain things are, are important to give you a edge. If you
Yes,
have
yes.
something extra, only then you can prove yourself. So, right, Anurag. So, what is that magical piece of advice that you would like to give to your colleagues and juniors, which helped you in jumping from 5K to such an amazing thing?
Ma'am, first of all is belief.
Yes.
Belief in God and yourself. Because if you don't have belief, now everyone will say that you might be scoring poor rank than this and everything. But if you think that you haven't given your best attempt till now, you have to give your best attempt, because branch remains throughout your life. No one will count your attempt, whether it's first attempt or second attempt. Main thing is branch. We should never compromise with branch. And main thing is consistency. No single day should be left without reading your notes or without giving any test or anything. Consistency is the key.
Self belief,
Yes.
consistency with in depth preparation, and then you have to be consistent, giving every GTs, as Anurag said. And short courses won't help if you do not have the sound knowledge. And so I think amazing journey, amazing score, and we all are very, very proud of you, especially me, because you have been texting me. He has been texting me since he got the distinction in ophthalmology. during the COVID times. And I remember that I was the first faculty who started the COVID time classes, the online app classes. And I remember the day when I started taking the classes from home, I was not having the optimum devices too. And like I was like that I have to give the classes because the show must go on. We have to help the students. And actually it worked. So your hard work worked, and he has been getting the scholarships throughout. So
Yes.
we are very proud of you.
Thank
God
you, ma'am.
bless the
Thank you.
entire DBMCI faculty, and may the best comes for you in the future endeavors to Anurag.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All the best.